Good evening and welcome to the 589th episode of Travelitch Radio. I'm Dan Schlossberg, along with my producer, co-host, and friend Roger Noriega, and we are in the 14th season of Travelitch, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travelitch Radio. And our guest today is Kendra Scurfield of Banff Sunshine Village. Welcome, Kendra, to Travelitch.
Thank you for having me. I've got my suitcase packed and I'm ready to scratch that itch.
All right. I've been to Banff and Lake Louise and love them both. Two of the most scenic places in North America. I was there in the summer, but isn't winter your peak season?
Winter is my favorite season. There's just something so magical about the snow on our Rocky Mountains. It's dramatic. It feels like you're in a snow globe. And to me, it is the most beautiful place in the world, made more beautiful by winter.
Well, let's talk location. I know you're in Western Canada, right on the Continental Divide. Could you be a bit more specific for our viewers?
I sure can. So we are just 90 minutes west of the Calgary International Airport. For those of you more familiar with American geography, Calgary is north by about 2 latitude points of Kalispell, Montana. It's on the 53rd longitude, and it's an easy flight into Calgary. There are direct flights from many major American cities. Once you're in Calgary, you just rent a car, hop on a bus, and head west on the Trans-Canada Rail. You head west on the Trans-Canada Highway, and you're in Banff.
There are three major ski resorts in Banff National Park.
Banff Sunshine. There are 3 ski resorts in Banff National Park, and there are 4 ski resorts in the Canadian National Park systems in Alberta. So we have Sunshine Village, which is by far my favorite. You have Norquay, and then you have Lake Louise, and then north in Jasper National Park, you have Marmot Basin. All of these resorts are on the Mountain Collective Pass and Icon Pass.
How close are Banff and Lake Louise?
Lake Louise is in Banff National Park. It is about a 50-minute drive to an hour drive from Banff.
And since we're now in April, tell us first how long ski season lasts, and second, what's ahead for the warm weather months?
At Sunshine, our ski season spans from early November all the way until late May. This year, we will be open to Slush Cut Monday, which falls on the Canadian version of the May long weekend. This year, that is May 19th, and our weekend is based on Queen Victoria's birthday. So every year, Canadians do observe that holiday. And we will be skiing right up until May 19th. We're home of Canada's best spring skiing. Typically, our snowiest month of the year are actually March and April. And then we'll take a quick respite end of May, June, and open for summer sightseeing and hiking on June 28th.
We are talking with Kendra Scurfield of Banff Sunshine Village.
Why does Sunshine Village get more snow than the other ski resorts in Banff National Park?
What's really unique to us is our location. So back in the 1800s, when Sir William Van Horn built the CN Railway, when Van Horn built the railway that connected Eastern Canada to Western Canada, it was built by the CP, Canadian Pacific. He got to Banff and he famously exclaimed, "By God, if I can't export the scenery, I'll import the tourists." So he built this grand hotel, the Banff Springs Hotel, which was a CP hotel. Now it is the Fairmont property. And that hotel has 700 plus rooms. I think it's just shy of 800 rooms. It is located right in the town of Banff, overlooking one of the waterfalls on the Bow River on one side. It's a stunning, magnificent castle of a hotel. Back then, people used to come from Eastern Canada and Eastern US by train and stay the summer in Banff National Park. He wanted to expand the offerings and give more activity for people to do. And in that time, there's this push to kind of create and build more backcountry lodges. One of those lodges was the Sunshine Hut, which is now one of our most famous and popular restaurants, Trappers. That lodge was the start of skiing and winter and activity at Sunshine. So although it's kind of it's kind of ironic, we were actually founded as a summer resort in 1928. However, an early an early maverick of the area once said, I can't remember who it is attributed to, but he's learned that three things in life are true: death, taxes, and snow at this high alpine village.
I have to ask, how many chairlifts and trails operate at Banff Sunshine?
We have a lot of chairlifts. We have 12 lifts and 138 runs.
Oh, wow. I have to tell you that I love the names of the surrounding mountains. Mount Standish, Lookout Mountain, and Goat's Eye Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lookout Mountain got its name from Dan when he was skiing and shouting, "Look out!" to all the other skiers.
Well, we can go with that.
Fair enough. Because I myself don't ski, but it's good. In summer, does the resort run a shuttle bus to its walking trails and alpine meadows?
We do run shuttle buses in both winter and in summer from the town of Banff to our gondola base.
I understand that Dan has a wonderful memory of fields of colorful wildflowers. Could you describe the spring scene in Banff's Sunshine Village?
I would say it's the summer scene. So the summer at Sunshine and Sunshine Meadows is like the land before time. I feel like I'm Littlefoot observing the beautiful lakes and the lush vegetation every time I'm up there. You have three alpine lakes. Sunshine Meadows is the highest alpine meadow in Canada. And you walk around the lakes, and in certain areas, the wildflowers grow knee high.
Wow, that is cool. Banff has a natural history museum with a unique artifact, part of a tree emblazoned by early explorer Governor George Simpson of Hudson's Bay Company in 1841. Would you please elaborate on that?
So Banff has three museums, and a lot of people don't actually know this. Each of the museums offers something unique. You've got the White Museum, which was founded by Peter and Catherine White. They were artists, philanthropers, business people, and it's a beautiful art museum with a lot of archive photos from the area. You then have the Lux Museum, which has unique history of the area, including one of my personal favorites is a seat that Lady Macdonald was Canada's first Prime Minister, Sir A. Macdonald's wife. And while she went through the mountains, she asked to sit on the cow catcher on the front of the plane so she could feel the exhilaration of the train whistling through the mountains. And that seat is in that museum. And then we have what I used to call the Dead Animal Museum. And I'm sure that's not the proper name. I'm blanking on the proper name right now, but it has various artifacts and animals, species, bugs, fauna, big wildlife in that museum. And that one is located on Banff Avenue just before the bridge. And back like at the turn of the 20th century. So in Banff's earliest days, there's actually a zoo at that location.
Oh, wow. Now, I know you mentioned it earlier, but at the Canadian Pacific, would you say the arrival of the Canadian Pacific Railroad put Banff on the map?
Without question.
I know they built a log cabin lodge that is now the oldest building in Banff Sunshine Village. Is it still in use?
Yes. So as I was saying earlier, it is our Trappers. It is a pub and a prey bar. It is great for lunch. It's very popular. It's a log cabin where we serve a very Canadian centric and famous beverage called the Caesar. It is the Canadian version of a Bloody Mary.
Oh.
It's lighter, spicier, better in all accounts, if you ask me. Less soupy, as well as, of course, poutine.
It's good. We are talking with Kendra Scurfield of Banff Sunshine Village.
Who was Bill Pato, and was he the first tour guide in the area?
Bill Pato, you did do your homework. So Bill Pato was the Canadian National Park System's first warden. He was the mountain man. He was the park warden for what is now Banff National Park. And there's a bunch of funny stories about him, like he would steal napkins from the Banff Springs Hotel and use it as his tie. He once rescued a pack, what do you call a group of kittens? A pack of cougar cubs, and released them in a bar full of miners. I'm sure that would mean something very different in today's age.
Yeah.
Probably a litter, I guess. Is that true? Or
Oh,
something
a
else?
litter, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
A litter of cougar cubs were. He
Okay.
cared greatly about the mountains and really did a lot of exploring of them. At Sunshine, we actually have a run named after him in one of our free ride zones called the Wild West. And the 4 runs in there were all named after various mavericks of Banff.
Is it true the first ski instructor wasn't hired until a Swiss guide arrived in 1939?
That is true. So we did open for summer, but people would skin up and hike the areas and earn their turns essentially starting as early as 1928. Our first paying guest at Banff Sunshine was in 1935, and that's when we built our first lift. It was a pommel lift, a one-person lift that you put between your leg and go up the hill on Strawberry. And then in 1939, we did have Bruno Engler come as a mountain guide.
When did the first gondola open, or was that it? First gondola.
No, the first gondola prior to 1980. So our gondola, Sunshine is unique in that we're really high above. We're high in the mountains. We're kind of like an island in the sky. So you park at our base lot, which is about a mile high. And then you
Everything
take.
froze here. I can see me. I can see Roger.
Can you see
Roger,
me?
can you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Very temporary outage, but hopefully she'll be right back.
And
And there
here,
are gondolas. Here, go ahead, Kendra.
so at Sunshine Village, our base area, our parking lot is at the base. It's a mile high. There you board our gondola. These aren't gondolas. These are our bubble heated chairs. But our gondola will take you all the way up to our skiing zone of 7,200 feet. That's where our mountaintop hotel, trappers, the old lodge live, as well as our day lodge, rental shop, ski school, and most of the amenities. And the gondola, before the gondola days, people used to drive in a school bus up to Sunshine.
This next question is hard to ask, but I have to ask, what was TP Town and what was its connection to Banff Sunshine Village?
TP Town is the name of one of our heated bubble lifts. So it is the orange chair that you do keep coming up and showing. But in the historic days, there were a lot of settlers, traders, people who would come through and survey the mountains, and they would often set up their camp at where the base of TP Town is. There's a nice natural flat zone, some creek, and they would just set up their teepees there.
I want to tell our viewers that this is Travel Itch Radio with Dan Schlossberg and Roger Noriega. We're in our 14th season, approaching our 600th episode, which we will mark with an hour-long special on June 19th. We're live at 5 New York time every Thursday on LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, X, Twitter, and Facebook, among others. And we're talking with Kendra Scurfield of Banff Sunshine Village.
As I'm sure you know, Dan is a skiing nerd. He needs to know, what is a high-speed quad and how many of them operate on your property?
The high-speed quads are lifts that will fly you up to the mountain and the top of the slope much faster. The average high-speed lift runs at about 6 meters per second, so it reduces the time that you are on the chair, meaning you can do more runs. A quad refers to the number of people that can sit on it. So 4 people on a high-speed quad. And this summer we did build, this winter we opened our first high-speed 6-passenger heated bubble lift, Super Angel.
How big is Banff Sunshine Village and what is its elevation?
We are base skiing where the village top of the gondola is 7,200 feet above sea level. Our parking lot, which you can ski to from the village, is at about 5,600 feet above sea level, and our top peak is just shy of 9,000 feet. We have 3,356 acres of skiable terrain with 12 lifts, 138 runs, and our longest run is 5 miles long or 8 kilometers.
Do its ski runs cross all three surrounding mountains?
Yes, at Sunshine, you do ski on Mount Standish, on Lookout, as well as Goat's Eye.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I hear you have heated seats on your high-speed quad. I've never heard of that before.
Mhm.
You have bubbles too, so that they're enclosed? I think you
Yes,
mentioned that, right?
our 2 bubble lifts have heated seats, and it's really a cool technology. So as you go through the lower station, there's a charger that heats a coil, and you sit down, your bum's nice and toasty. I love the bubbles. They can protect from the sun, just keep that heat a little bit more in on a colder day, or also just shield you from the sun.
And of course, I understand that Banff Sunshine Village is the first Canadian ski resort that has both.
We were the first Canadian resort to build a heated bubble lift, and we are the only resort with 2 heated bubble lifts.
That's cool. Now, Dan wants to know the answer to this question. What is Wah-Wah Ridge, and how did it get its name?
Great question. Wawa is our second lift that was ever built at Sunshine. It is in its probably third carnation now. It was originally built as a T-bar, then replaced with a T-bar, and now it is a 4-person fixed chair. It offers lovely blue runs, an easy green, and a couple more challenging runs. Wawa Ridge is the lift accessible backcountry that you can access via the top of Wawa chair, and it's a hike up a beautiful viewpoint. Where we believe Wawa got its name is in French. The word for Canadian goose is un wa, and the native word in our area for Canadian geese is Wawa. And if you look at the ridge just right, you can see it making that famous V shape. So I believe it's named after the Canadian geese.
That is cool. That is good to know. And speaking of unique and crazy sounding names, at least to us, I imagine, what is the Slush Pup, and isn't it coming up soon?
The Slush Cup, oh, that's my favorite day of the year. Slush Cup is our end of season ski and snowboard celebration. We have a 3-day festival in May, spanning from May 17th, 18th, and 19th, where we start with a fun rail jam that's really for all ages, participants who like freestyle skiing and snowboarding. Then we go into our Watergate Bank slalom course, and that is a bit of a border cross that's great for all ages as well. We have kids as young as 8 competing in it and adults as old as 78. Then Slush Cup is only for adults. You have to be 18 or over to compete. We have DJs, we have music. We build this giant water pool in our village area, fill it with water from our reservoir. So it's cold, like mountain meltwater, snow cold. And we build a jump. It is 110 feet long. And the goal is for skiers and snowboarders to hit the jump and ski across the pond. Every year we see about 5,000 guests coming out to end the season with a final splash as we celebrate winter. There's a bit of a party, lots of entertainment. It's a spectacle. You have to be there to understand it. And it is the longest running pond skim in North America.
Oh, cool. We are having a wonderful conversation with Kendra Scurfield of Banff Sunshine Village.
Kendra, you talked a little bit about Sunshine Mountain Lodge. How many rooms? 700 plus, and how old is it?
No, sorry. The Banff Springs Hotel in Banff, which was the CP Hotel, that has like 780 rooms. I might be wrong on it, but our hotel that is located at the top of the mountain is a boutique ski in, ski out hotel that has 84 rooms.
Much better. And it must be quieter too. But that sounds great. Right at the top, must have a great view.
Yeah, it has a stunning view. You oversee the slope that you're going to ski the next day. If you're lucky, you can see the Northern Lights, which we do get over 100 days a year. It's absolutely stunning. You can ski in to your room. There's a ski concierge service, so you can basically walk right into the lobby with your skis, give it to one of our bell team. They'll put it in the locker, and you can go for a big after ski hot tub.
That sounds great. And isn't it the only resort in the whole area where guests can ski in and ski out?
It is the only hotel in a Canadian National Park system that you can ski in, ski out of.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, with summer right around the corner, please tell our viewers about your summer menu of activities.
Summer is much more relaxed at Banff Sunshine. I do love winter, but summer is beautiful. It's peaceful, quiet. In the summer, we do open for daily for sightseeing and hiking, and our flower season is late July, early August. That's when most of the flowers are in bloom. Throughout summer, we have our interpretive center open where you can learn more about the animals that call our area home. We're very lucky to share our national park with some wonderful beasts, including grizzly bears, elk, deer, marmots, owls, eagles, black bears, and I'm sure I'm missing a lot. There's tons of animals that call our mountains home. You can also learn about the fauna, some of the unique vegetation that we have, as well as the mountain history.
And speaking of menus, we'd like to know about the restaurants, cafes, and food specialties at Banff Sunshine Village.
Of course. So in the winter, one of my favorite places to eat is Nico Ramen, and it is our on-mountain ramen restaurant. It's quick, it's fast, it's delicious. Nico is actually the Japanese word for sunshine. I also am a big fan of our coffee shops. We have Java Lift and Java Station, where we serve locally roasted coffee from Monogram Coffee in Calgary. And then we have Trappers, which is our quintessential mountain pub. There's great burgers, soups, poutine. Then if you head over to our hotel, we have the Chimney Corner, which is an upscale family restaurant. And then we have the finer dining side of the Eagle's Nest.
And daylight lingers longer in the summer, but what can people do after dark? Is there an indoor pool, evening entertainment?
At Sunshine, there is evening activities every single day. So a fan favorite is making s'mores by the fire pit at Sunshine Mountain Lodge, soaking in our large outdoor hot tub, stargazing. In the winter, you can go snowshoeing. We also have yoga. We've got a kids' playroom. We have other various activities that you can find, such as tobogganing in the winter.
Good. And summer guests anticipate seeing the Northern Lights, you said 100 days a year. 100 nights a year, I should say.
They're most active around an equinox. So they get a bit more active this time of year around December 21st and again in September.
And we're talking with Kendra Skurfield of Banff Sunshine Village.
Banff Sunshine Village is so photogenic. It's been used in many movies and TV specials. The Amazing Race is one of them. Would you tell us more about that place? And the others as well?
We are beautiful. We are very lucky. Sometimes I pinch myself because I don't quite believe that it's real. It's like I'm living in a painting. We've been in many different shows throughout the years. We've played as background for Everest. We were on The Amazing Race back with Chip when Chip and Joanne won, and that was quite a fun adventure. It was way back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
We had to keep everything so confidential. They didn't want anything leaked at all, and you weren't sure if we were actually going to make it on there, but what they had to do was quite hard. They had to snowshoe from the top of the gondola up to the top of Delirium Dive, where one of our other free ride zones is. It's constantly ranked one of North America's hardest runs. That was really exciting. Last year, we were on Love and Hip Hop, an Atlanta-based reality TV show. We've been on various Hallmark movies. We've done a lot of various film work throughout the years.
That's cool. How many skiers and snowboarders come to Banff Sunshine Village every season?
Thursday.
There are
5
hundreds of thousands of people who do come to Ski Sunshine, and every year about 4 million people visit Banff National Park each year.
How do guests get to Banff Sunshine Village? Train, plane, or car? And is Calgary the nearest gateway? And how long does the trek take from there? I know that was messed up. 3 questions in one. I'm
I
sorry.
got it. The
My fault.
easiest way for international visitors to get to Banff Sunshine is to fly into Calgary International Airport. From there, they can take a shuttle bus or they can rent a car. If you're staying in the town of Banff, we offer free daily shuttle services on our Sunshine Express from the town of Banff with multiple pickup points at various hotels to our resort, and they have a return option as well, but you can also drive.
Oh, that is cool. Would you tell us about the agreement between Banff Sunshine Village and Parks Canada regarding future expansion?
We are in a national park, and at Banff Sunshine, our goal is to be worthy of our location in Canada's oldest national park. So we work very closely with Parks Canada on all of our business planning and future planning.
What happens when their 42-year lease expires?
We will work with Parks Canada to renew it before we get to that expiration.
That's good. That is good to know. Is there anything we haven't asked you that you would like to add, Kendra?
When are you coming skiing?
Dan?
We've got a great school that can teach you.
So get me before you get me before you get Roger, because I've skied before. Not well, but I have gone skiing. Remember,
But
look
I
out!
would like to.
Look out!
I must admit that I am looking to go to Toronto and take the the Canadian Rail Via, and I intend to visit the park there. I believe it's in 2026. I'm hoping to do that. Yes.
Well, if any Americans are listening and want to come to Canada right now, it is a great time to visit us, as your dollar does go that much further. So you are having a wonderful sale on everything Canadian in Canada.
That is cool. Now, the most obvious question: how do viewers learn more about Banff Sunshine Village?
If anyone wants to learn more about Banff Sunshine Village, they can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. We're Sunshine Village on Instagram, Threads, Twitter. We're Banff Sunshine Village on Facebook, and Sunshine Village Ski and Snowboard Resort on LinkedIn. People can also go to our website, skibanff.com, to learn more about Sunshine and to possibly book a stay.
That's good.
Our guest today has been Kendra Skurfield of Banff Sunshine Village. Thank you, Kendra, for visiting with us on Travelage.
Thank you for having me, Dan. It was nice talking with both you and Roger.
It was great, and it's beautiful country there. I've been there a long time ago, but I loved it. Very scenic. And
I can
viewers,
still hear you saying, "Look out!"
that's it.
All right.
Viewers,
Okay.
since baseball season has just started, this is the perfect time to share the excitement with my book, my latest baseball biography, Home Run King: The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. Featuring a foreword by Dusty Baker, this 256-page hardcover explores Aaron's contributions as a home run hitter on and off the field, as an athlete, and as an advocate for civil rights. That's Home Run King: The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. Get it today on Amazon.com. And that's it for this edition of Travelage Radio. This is your host and writer, Dan Schlossberg, along with producer and co-host Roger Noriega, saying thank you for your time this time. Until next time, join us next week when we'll talk to Kristen Guthrie about Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Good evening and stay safe. The long run down to the music. Here it is.